This is Abe Friedhanser from Awards Watch, and I'm very excited to be speaking with Mickey Rapkin about his Oscar shortlisted short, The Anne Frank Gift Shop. How are you, Mickey?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, is this film inspired by any one Instagram post or other social media faux pas?
No, definitely not. The movie sort of starts in it came to me in two ways. One, 20 years ago or so, I went to the Anne Frank house, and had this sort of the experience you know you're gonna have. You know, you're walking around and it's so quiet and it's like sacred ground, and I'm crying. You know, it's so emotional. And then you exit through the gift shop. And I had this moment of like, I've just had this like religious experience basically. And now it's like, would you like a postcard? And I just always thought that was such like a sort of funny image. And then on a more serious note, in 2020, there was a study that showed it was the first 50 state study of young Americans and their knowledge of the Holocaust. And the findings were frightening. You know, two-thirds of young Americans couldn't tell you how many Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. 11% of respondents somehow believe Jews caused the Holocaust. And I wanted to make a dark comedy. And these ideas were just sort of percolating. Like, how do you reach young people? And I feel like the way to reach young people is through comedy. Like I feel like the film Disarm is a comedy first, and it disarms viewers with these jokes, which some people may find offensive, but it disarms them with this language that they speak, this comedic language, so that you can get the message through, which is like one of the characters in the film says, we have to tell this story again and again and again, every way we can, or it will happen again.
I think that people who watch it will have a powerful experience, but as is part of the point here, those who haven't had the chance to see it may react to the title and try to boycott it preventively, whatever. Have you experienced anything like that? The people who just don't see the nuance and don't want to find out more?
I as a rule, don't read comments, so I don't actually know. I feel like that's madness lies that way, so I will not be reading comments. But I think the title is intentionally provocative so that you will wonder what this thing is. And again, it's not an educational film, though you take away a message. It's a comedy first. It's a dark comedy first and foremost. And I want people to laugh. And then I want people to be moved.
This film, was made obviously earlier, and was released earlier this year, but it has taken on a new relevance in the last few months. Can you just speak to that a bit?
Yes, I mean, people ask about it and they're like, oh my God, it's so relevant now. It's so timely. I'm like, it's horrifying. Like, no, I'm not excited. I'm horrified and saddened that it's become so timely. Um, but I've just been telling people, yeah, it's like sadly arriving at this time in the world where, we're reminded of the relevance of the story. But yeah, the movie was written last year. We shot almost a year ago to the day. Yeah, the world is a scary, wild place.
You have some big names in the cast. Did you have any specific ideas of roles you wanted to make sure were played by certain people, or did you want people to be able to recognize faces in this?
I feel like we got so lucky with the cast. I mean, we got so lucky also the DP is Chloe Weaver. She did work on Hacks and on Chef's Table. She's amazing. I was like so lucky to work with her. And then we just started putting the pieces together. Jason Butler Harner, who was on Ozark, is in our cast, and he had to do it because he also happens to be my husband. So he didn't have a choice. And then I've been friends with Ari Graynor for a long time, but even that, like, that kind of makes I was so nervous to send her the script, like everyone's time is valuable. And also when you send someone something you wrote, it's exposing, I find it to be, I get nervous every time I send something to anybody. Anyway, but I was so excited when she's like, I'll do this. She's like, this is funny. I'll do this. And she knew Chris Perfetti from Abbott Elementary and helped, convince him to do it. I was like, he's never going to do it. We were shooting the same weekend as his birthday. I'm like, this guy's not, he's working on Abbott around the clock. He's not coming to do our thing. And he said he would do it, which was amazing. And Jason knew Kate Burton from back, some theater. We just got so lucky with these actors. Mary Beth Barone, the comedian who's so funny on Fallon. Josh Myers is a friend of a friend. He said he'd actually lived in Amsterdam. He said he would do it. It was just, it's funny when you're making these independent films. I always describe it as like a game of chicken, like you tell people you're shooting on this date, but you don't have the money yet. And you sort of have the location, but not really. And you're just telling people, you just keep saying it out loud. We're going to shoot on this day. You keep saying you're going to do it. And the pieces fall into place. And we got so lucky with these group of people. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what was it like working with Reboot Studios to put out the film?
Reboot Studios, they were brand new. They put out a call for entries, like we're launching the studio. We're going to tell irreverent Jewish stories. I submitted a proposal, to get a grant, to get an investment just to write the script. But they've been great, they've been so supportive along the way. Just really a can-do attitude, like, problem solving, like, we lost this location. What can we do for, they're just like the kind of partners you dream about. And not just both in the sense that we're telling this dark comedy about, the Holocaust. Like you kind of need a good partner in that. And then they've just been really supportive at every step of the way. Like I feel really, really lucky.
I'm glad to hear that. I wish you plenty of luck with this film. Thank you for diving in a little bit, and I hope people have the chance to see it soon.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it.